On behalf of the EFDD, I give the floor to Mr. Farage.
Tusk, I'd like to give my customary welcome to incoming presidents of the European Council. I can see why they chose you. You're perfect. You're like the Euro record that's got stuck in the groove. Completely out-of-date view of what Europe is, and clearly you've learned absolutely nothing from the results of the European elections. Now, as you know, in the United Kingdom, immigration is the key debate. It is dominating political discourse within our country, and at the heart of that is the whole question of the free movement of peoples. But of course, your debate is the other side of the same coin. Your debate is about immigration, and time and again you've promised the Polish voters that young Poles would return to Poland, and at the same time Mr Cameron has promised the British people that fewer Poles would come to us. Well, it turns out that you've both been wrong, and that your country has been depopulated by 2 million people since you joined the European Union. And the reason is obvious. It's money, isn't it? And you yourself prove the point. You're the newest Polish emigre, and you've gone from a salary of 60,000 euros a year to a salary of 300,000 euros a year. So congratulations, you've hit the EU jackpot. But you've also scored a great victory without trying, because Mrs Merkel last week went to Downing Street. She spent a few hours with Mr Cameron, and Mr Cameron now is a big supporter of the free movement of people. Let me be clear, he said, I support the freedom of movement. So on that one, you've won a great victory against Mr Cameron without having to lift a finger. But he also says that he will now restrict the benefit of EU migrants working in Britain. Now, in the past, you've been very clearly opposed to this, and I want to please answer me today, Mr Tusk. Is it right that children who live in Warsaw should qualify for child benefit if their parents are working in London? Please clarify for me that point today. In some ways, you face quite a tough test. Not with the UK, our leaders are a soft touch. But despite the Lithuanian lemmings, you've got the euro crisis, you've got a referendum on whether the UK stays a member, and of course the appalling growth of attacks on Jewish people. I would put it to you, Mr Tusk, that the European elections showed us one thing. The voters in Europe want change. They want massive wholesale reform, and I'm entirely confident that you're not the man to provide that.
Referring to what Mr Farage has said, I am impressed and satisfied. Ever since his famous speech 5 years ago here in this chamber about Herman van Rompuy, I have known that he is maybe the best example of political and personal culture and political decency and, you know, elegance. What can I say more? I am really impressed, and keep it up, Mr Farage. I know, but it's because this is about political culture, I think, what I mentioned a few seconds ago. Pozwólcie teraz, że przejdę na język polski.
Allow me now to switch to Polish, because I'd like to respond to Mr. Duda.